What's up, Lantern fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, coming at you once again with another Green Lantern product review. This time I'm taking a look at the Mattel Retro Action DC Superheroes 8-inch action figure of Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner. These retro action figures really bring back the magic of Mego, and this particular figure is a prized piece of my collection, so let's start by taking a look at the package details. Here's a look at this vintage card and bubble design. This figure comes with a personal power battery accessory, and the figure is secure within the bubble. Here's a look at some of the other Green Lantern-centric characters that have figures in this line. And on the back, we get really cool artwork of John, Sinestro, Guy, and Kyle. And I display this piece in a Detolf cabinet because on the card, I got the autographs of Daryl Banks and Ron Mars, the co-creators of Kyle Rayner. This is usually the part of the review where I talk about busting the figure out of the package. Obviously, I will not be doing that here, but I got a second retro Kyle Rayner figure for this review. Let's take a look at the one and only accessory, and this is the personal power battery. And this doesn't have translucent plastic in the middle. It doesn't have a movable handle. It doesn't have a metallic finish. However, you don't expect those out of a figure at this price point. I'm just glad that they gave us the Kyle battery and not just a generic Green Lantern personal power battery. And here we see the torchbearer out of the package and ready to rumble. There is a tremendous amount to like about this figure, especially if you're nostalgic for the old Mego line. But even in this style, there are areas that could have used improvement, so let's get a closer look at the loose details of this figure now. Let's have a look at the lower body now. And overall, I really like these boots. They are sculpted in a way that reflects the original Daryl Banks design. I would have appreciated a few more sculpted lines, but I didn't expect those. The boots are plastic and the black sections are cloth. The black sections are slick and shiny, and I'm very appreciative of that. The figure doesn't have ankle joints, and I'm okay with that since the rest of the joints are so loose in this style. And it really makes the stiff boots imperative for the figure to stand. In terms of articulation, we get a single jointed knee, and it moves back that far. As you can see here, the hip joint moves with a great deal of ease, more so than you get with many other lines. You can articulate the legs into a full split, and I'm very appreciative of that. Although there is one drawback in this area, and that is that it is difficult to get the figure to stay in some poses. Here's a look at the torso, and I am always excited to see this costume adapted into various action figures. This is my favorite costume in all of comics, and this has been done very well in this style, with the exception of the top part of the back. And I'll talk more about that momentarily, but this Daryl Banks symbol is spot on. I'm very thankful for the way that has been produced. The costume has these two snaps in the back, and that's how you can remove the costume. I must say, I think that they are an eyesore, but the overall design is very accurate, especially considering this type of figure, and I'm very pleased with that. In terms of articulation, the figure pivots back and forth at the waist, but that is it. There is no upper torso joint on this figure. Now we'll have a look at the arms, and they are certainly a mixed bag. I really have issues with the way that the gauntlets were executed. They're vinyl or some other kind of soft goods, and they're really an eyesore, especially when you're looking at them straight on. I do like the color choice and the fact that they don't connect to the hands, and that's good because it doesn't affect the wrist rotation. But as you can see, especially from this angle, there's this gap around the gauntlets, and it really isn't attractive. Now, the rest of the arms, I think, are executed well. I like the overall musculature. I think it's accurate to Kyle. And you can see some definition here on the biceps and triceps, even though they are covered with the soft goods material. In terms of articulation, there's a single jointed elbow. You can get the shoulder joints to move out this far. The arms would go around 360 degrees if not for the material blocking them. You can still do that, but be very careful. You don't want to damage the cloth. And the shoulder joints allow you to raise the arms up from the sides considerably, and you can rotate them into the big power pose. I'm very happy with the way that this looks. Really, my only issue with the arms is the way that the gauntlets have been executed. As problematic as the gauntlets are, the ring has been executed perfectly. It is the proper size, the paint applications are tight, and it's been sculpted into a clearly visible Green Lantern Corps symbol. Now we'll take a look at the head sculpt, and it's a mixed bag as well, but there's more positives than negatives. I really like the overall shape of the mask. The sculpting here is excellent. You can see all of these lines that have been sculpted in, and they're very reflective of the original Darryl Banks design. The sculpt of the hair is decent. I just wish that Mattel would have used a matte black to color the hair as opposed to this glossy black. It would have looked a little bit more realistic. In terms of articulation, it's the standard for these retro figures. The head moves side to side. It doesn't move up or down, and there is no head tilting. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for some articulation shots, and also remember to catch me on the Emerald Echo podcast, and that's part of Multiverse Musings, the vidcast, which is available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back with more Green Lantern-related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.